Hello and welcome to Poker Stories Behind the Scenes. Today with a special format because we have 52 questions for Insyder19. Uh, Hi, Vladimir. Are you ready?
Hey guys, yeah, I'm very excited. And 52 questions, obviously, because the card deck has 52 cards. It took me a few seconds to figure out why we are choosing this format, and I think it's really great. So let's get started.
Uh, Before we start, just one reminder Vladimir doesn't know the questions. I crafted them on my own. So that's a real life experience. And maybe you will hear him saying, oh, I didn't expect that. Because we start with easy questions and then get to the really spicy ones later on. But let's start with the easy poker questions.
Right. I actually would add that if you're at the poker table, you don't know what the flop will be anyway. So you are prepared for anything. So it sounds like it's a bit like a MTT structure. We are starting with small blinds and then moving on to the higher stakes, deep into the tournament.
Indeed,
All right,
indeed,
let's go.
indeed. That's the
Yeah.
mindset. So let's start. Fixed limit, pot limit, or no limit?
No limit. No limit because pot limit it just money goes in too often, and no limit is a more skillful game, more interesting.
Cash game or
For
tournaments?
sure, cash games, because tournaments just last forever. I played a couple of tournaments. Actually, funny story, when I was playing high stakes, I went to London for the APT first APT tournament, and we just I a German friend of mine, Max Altergott, LTFC on Stars, who then moved to the highest stakes, and Fish Eye. We all sign up for the main event with no practice. We never even played tournaments before. We just sign up for the main event. I think Jungleman was there as well, and then we went to clubbing the day before, and I think I managed to last 3 hours, uh, and then went to play cash games. So yeah, I would never do that again. Another experience myself I had in some F tops on full tilt back then. Just no idea how to play it. Just sign up. So not a good way to play tournaments. Cash games for sure.
Okay, okay, okay. So cash games, but next question is still sit and go or MTT?
I would go for the MTT. Sit and go is just too
Okay,
fast. I played some sit and goes. I just moved all in basically, mostly to get rid of that. Yeah.
okay. Now more in your flavor. Heads up or six max? Or full
No,
ring if
no,
you
never.
want.
Not full ring. Not full ring. I had some tables usually open with full ring, and they were always in the background, and I was just sitting. You just have to fold so much. I was just really bad at full ring. I would play it like six max, and it's a bad approach. Um, heads up for sure, but you need to find the games. So later on in my career, heads up was dying. You couldn't really There was no heads up action as much anymore, so I switched to six max, but I prefer heads up is the
Okay,
purest.
heads up. Live poker or online poker?
Online life is just
Online.
too slow.
Okay. Long or short sessions?
I li- I was way better at short sessions. Everyone is better at short sessions, I would say, because you're more focused. But there were some long sessions which were really fun. I remember one when I started playing. I mean, I think at 7 a.m. and had a coffee at 5 p.m. and I think I went to bed at 8 a.m. in the next day. Basically, not even
Okay.
standing up from my chair. So that was a long session. Right.
Now it gets more interesting. Made hands or draws?
Yeah, well, no, draws. Depends on the draw, but like open-ended straight flush draw. Yeah, that's
Okay,
what you want to
okay,
have.
yeah,
That's why like 7-8 suited is a really nice hand in no limit. But in pot limit Omaha, draws are better because like if you have a draw, you're not you have a different mindset actually. If you have a draw, you're like, all right, I don't have to win the hand, but I can make the best hand and then I'm gonna outdraw the guy. It's more fun. But if you have a set in no in pot limit Omaha and there is a flush draw and like 40 straight draws or something like that, you just yeah, you just it's a bad situation for you because you know you're basically maybe 55% favorite. And the thing about it is that human being is thinking the way that if you don't like losing what you have, and if you have a made hand you have something, so it feels way worse to lose a made hand than to not win a draw.
okay. What is your personal favorite starting hand?
All right, so in no limit hold'em, there would be, well, I want aces every time, that's for sure, but I think I prefer jack 10 suited. Just looks so nice, you can make so many
Okay,
draws in pot limit Omaha. Obviously I want to have double suited aces, but no, I want to have 7 8 9, no, yeah, 7 8 9 10 double suited. That's a bet. And then you
okay.
want the actual like raise 3 bet 4 bet, because then you know the guys have aces and your favorite and you can call and then you click call.
Before we head over to the live section, the last poker question for the moment, who was your most famous opponent?
I so I played against Guy Liberté. Well, many people, the owner of Cirque du Soleil, I think he sold it. He used to play a bunch. I played against Abramovich, who played on Stars as well, but many people played against him. Um, I played a little bit against Durr, very little, and I think it would be Daniel Negriana. Actually, He used to play on Stars Pot Limit Omaha back then, so he would be the most famous. I never really played it against Phil Ivey, which I would have liked to, but he
You would have regretted,
yeah, for
maybe.
sure, for sure. Yeah, I never really played against him, which kind of sucks. He's the one,
Okay, okay,
yeah. Yeah, and never against Patrick Antonius. Yeah, so those two guys I would love to play.
okay. That concludes the poker question
All right,
section
all
for
right.
now. Now, general life
Okay.
questions. So, to start off, are you a morning person or a night owl?
Morning person. I used to be more, actually, yeah, it shifted a little bit. When I played poker, I woke up maybe at like 9 a.m., sometimes at 10 a.m. And I know some poker players actually had a schedule. Even 10 years ago, they would wake up early in the morning at 5 a.m. and play. Um, the very good players, because they figured out you're focused way more in the morning, and you have the Americans are tired because it's already like evening over there. But nowadays, I'm just waking up at 5 a.m., usually and going for a run. And I go to bed very early, like 10 p.m., 9 p.m. Um, yeah, it shifted. But I also have a daughter, so yeah, it has to do a little bit with that.
Okay, fair enough. Are you a coffee or a tea person?
Both, both. Yeah. I
Both.
would drink more coffee, but I just know it's not as healthy. So I'm mixing it.
Okay. Are there any hobbies or activities you are passionate about?
Yeah, I really played a lot of tennis before I got a kid. Would also there I used to play tournaments actually. You can sign up for tournaments in Germany. If you're in the club, you can travel whole Germany and sign up for tournaments, and you can even win something, which I would never do because I'm too bad at it. But there I had to really schedule. Like I knew I would play on Sunday. It was Saturday and Sunday. I would prepare. I would. make sure that I'm rested. That tennis, I was a really big fan, and I stopped playing for a while, and I think I will return to it. I know a lot of poker players are actually playing tennis. It's a really good way um, to balance. And obviously, running
Oh,
I'm almost obsessed about nutrition and health and stuff like that. So, um, but and I would recommend for poker players who are still playing to get into it, because playing poker, sitting so much, you need to balance it. It's gonna be tough if you're sitting 10 hours.
okay, okay. What's your favorite TV show or movie?
The Wire, the Wire. Then there is then Sopranos is really good as well, but The Wire is way better than Sopranos. I know some guys who are saying Sopranos is better, but no, The Wire. I actually just bought a Blu-ray player again. I watched The Wire a couple of times, and I just watch it every year, if maybe twice. And you usually, I had it on Blu-ray, but sold all my Blu-rays and Blu-ray player because you have Netflix and stuff like that, right? But nowadays, I couldn't get the Wire to stream anymore, and I wanted that box, that Blu-ray box again, and so I rebought a Blu-ray player. And if I have time, I'm gonna start watching it again. Right.
Okay, okay. Now, what's the most interesting place you've traveled to, and why did you go?
Right. So I would say, Herbert, you are at the place right now. So Barcelona is amazing, amazing. So it would be a city, a big city. I just want the atmosphere and the mindset of a big city, of a progressive city, and Vienna. But Vienna doesn't have the weather you have in Barcelona, and the ocean, the sea. Ah, yeah, it would be Barcelona. I would love to live there, and unfortunately, I'm in Kassel, Germany, which is a documenta city, which is also good, but Barcelona would it be?
Okay. And then, if you could go on a travel right now for free, where would you go? Like you stand
Yeah,
up
yeah, yeah.
and head to the airport or whatever. Like where would you go
Yeah, I think
without
yeah.
any
So if
cost?
I have all the time, I would start with probably Australia, New Zealand, then head on to South America. This is where I want to go, right? And Africa as well.
Okay. Do you have any pets?
I used to have a dog who died, which yeah, was
Mm,
brutal actually. So I had a Labrador for like 11 years. I think it almost turned 12, and now I don't have any. I If I had the time, it's 10 Labradors right away.
okay, okay. Uh, what's your favorite way to relax?
Mm. Yeah, it's cooking and running, listening to audiobooks. Meditation a little bit, meditation as well, but meditation is, I'm just doing short sessions, so it doesn't last too long. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And speaking of cooking, what's your favorite food?
Gotta actually, it would be yeah, it's probably a tuna steak, or a really good steak, really good steak, probably more tuna. And any food in Italy. Basically, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
always a
in Italy,
guarantee.
you just can't go wrong. I mean, I have more favorite food which is unhealthy, which I just, yeah, there is a bunch. But in Italy, you can eat anything. It's crazy. Or
Yeah,
or
that's true.
red wine, but that's not food, right?
Yeah, well, we can
Yeah,
count
yeah,
it
yeah.
in
It
too,
would be
but
great red
we are talking
wine.
about food in
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
particular.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, from wines and spirit to mindset.
Okay,
Now,
okay.
the big mindset uh, questions. Let's start off with an easy one. Mindset or stop loss limit?
You need to go with a stop limit because the mindset won't. No, no, no. Mindset is gonna trick you. There is nobody can control it. You need a stop loss. This is really, if I had a stop loss back then, like I had a stop loss, which was like, I don't know, 20 buy-ins, something like that. Depends on how rolled I was. It was always like, yeah. So stop loss. You got, and people who started to do the
Yeah.
stop loss, I can tell who would take breaks also. Breaks like just after losing a big hand, they would go like, oh, I need to open up the door, which would be a lie, but you can relax and your opponent is losing the basically the momentum. So stop loss, guys.
Okay, okay. Now, self-evaluation. Are you a grinder or an artist at the poker table?
I wish I was a grinder. Yeah, yeah. I think in any everywhere you're just a grinder. Anyone who is really good is always a grinder. It just feels like you're an artist, but people are just grinding. You need to do the dirty work.
Okay. Now an easy one. Do you follow bankroll management?
Yeah, a little bit.
In
A little
theory.
bit. There, yeah, I wish I did it more as well. But you know, you can never tell. Like there are people actually in the history of online poker. It seems like, I mean, Dirt didn't follow it. There was a 20 buy-in rule back then, which is ridiculous. Um, Many people went broke because they didn't follow it, and I think I also got lucky. Yeah, like you move up in stakes when you shouldn't because you're not rolled enough and you run good, so you can move up again, and it's a time where games are soft and all of that, but you should have a rule. I think it's like 300 buy-ins plus nowadays. Yeah, yeah,
Well, well, good luck in high stakes.
yeah.
Okay, tilt or meditation?
Meditation for sure. I never really tilted. I can actually tell that I realized when I started tilting late in my career, I never had that issue. And I know some people, like you said, you've broken so many computer parts, people throwing away laptops. I never had that actually in my life, but later on, when I got older, uh, yeah, I mean the games got were so high variance that it started to tilt you. Yeah, it did.
Okay, given that you're not a tilter, I'm going to ask anyway. What's the value of the things you broke while on
Yeah,
tilt?
that's part of a chair, but that's very. I never. No, no. What I did is I should have broken something, but I played on instead. Like if you've just we talked about it. There is a story
Yeah.
about Patrick Antonius and Hasufly, German high roller fixed limit. So they played fixed limit. I think they played like 4K, 8K, and Antonius lost a big pot, and then he disconnected. And Hasufly, the German high, was waiting for him. And 3, 4 days later, Antonius came back on and said he threw away his laptop and had to buy a new one. So he saved a lot of money by breaking something that's fairly cheap compared to the stakes they're playing. So yeah, I also never self excluded myself, maybe once or twice. So I kept playing grinding.
Okay, okay. That was actually the next question.
uh,
Like, have you ever self
yeah, I
excluded?
did.
So you
Yeah,
did it.
I did when I was back then at the university, and I had to do all this stuff. And I told it. I told that. So I did self exclude myself, um, and then I was just checking how many days left. How many days left? And I even set at play. I even played play money on full tilt. It was on full tilt. I even played some play money because I just liked the software. It was just so fun. And then when I knew it's a day I can grind again, I had the tables open and waited and set back in just a second after I was back then. So that's how patient I was.
Okay, now easy
Okay.
questions. GTO or exploiting opponents?
I used to play not GTO at all. I basically got into GTO way too late, I would say, and I really was obsessed about GTO from that point on, and wanted to play pure GTO. But I think a mix is the way to go.
Poker books or poker
Videos,
videos?
videos, videos is the way I prefer learning. I just need the audio content, and yeah. But reading, I read. I don't know. There is really there are a couple of really good books, and I remember reading on holidays some book. I should have done that more. So a mix is pretty good, I would say, but I prefer videos.
Okay, now setup, gaming setup. Um, did you only play on your preferred like gaming setup, or didn't it matter to you? Could you play from anywhere, from any laptop, and so
I
on?
really wanted my setup. I know some people just playing even. I know people even played on the iPhone, like even professionals. But I had a setup of two big Dell monitors who got really warm. And I remember in the winter, I had a small room. I closed everything, and my wife would come in and say, "You gotta open." I mean, it's like almost like sauna. So I had a decent setup. I really liked it. And when I was on traveling, I sometimes was playing on a laptop. But in general, I was taking the time off when I wasn't at home.
Okay, okay. What is the best training site ever for poker players?
That's deucescracked.com. That's deuces cracked. I think it because it moved my game forward the most. Card Runners was the
Okay,
first one, which
okay.
was also good, but then Deuces Crack just took it all over.
Fair enough. Fair enough. What's your most memorable poker hand? Like the one you remember the most?
So it would be the biggest pot I won there, but there. So yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember one PLO hand, which so like the first really big pot you won. Um, actually no, yeah, I remember like when you're moving up in stakes and then you start winning the big pots. Uh, actually, I remember another one. Yeah. So bigger pots where you just, if you would have lost the hand, you would have had to move down in stakes and stuff like that. So those are the hands I remember. And hands that made me tilt, of course, as well, where I got the money in too quickly, really bad.
Okay. What's your biggest weakness in poker?
Just acting, being too quick. I I had like when you were playing on party or stars, you could actually customize your HUD and you could add text to it. And I had a text play slowly. And I had a guy watching me, and he's like, "Dude, you take a look slowly. What are you doing?" I was just clicking. I Yeah, that's I know a friend of mine, actually, so that's Max Altergott, who I remember when he played, and a guy would bet into him. He would be like, "All right, what am I gonna do?" And he was just so slow. I'm like, "Wow, you're gonna time out," and he was slow. He was analyzing everything. You're just way better if you're thinking slowly. I was way too fast.
Okay, I know. What's the best poker site of all times?
Yeah, that's Full Tilt for sure. When Full
Full tilt.
Tilt went down, oh, I wish when Stars purchased Full Tilt, I was kind of hoping they would move everything to Full Tilt, but no, they kept it on Stars. Full Tilt was the best site, hands down.
Okay. And the best poker software
Full
in general?
Tilt, Full Tilt. I was,
No, no, I mean even like tracking
oh,
or
all right, all right.
solvers
Yeah, yeah.
or hand
Oh
analysis
yeah, yeah, yeah,
tools,
yeah.
whatever.
Actually, so I mean, I use Holder managers the most, but I think so. That's what I use the most. But I remember when I got Poker Tracker, the first version or something. It had just a HUD of VPIP and preflop rates and stuff like that. And that was a breakthrough for my game. I was like checking, oh, look at this. This guy's way to lose. Yeah, it was so when I first started to replay hands, that was yeah, that was really interesting. And then I would say Monker Solver, which I used the
Mhm.
most as well. Yeah.
Okay, that's it for the poker mindset questions. And now we come to my
All
favorite
right.
part. I already love it now when I see the stuff. So, this section is called Complete the Sentence. I give you the first part of a sentence and you have to
Okay.
complete it.
Yeah, let's
Ready?
go.
Ready. I knew I was a poker player when.
When I skipped the university semester for the third time or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The funniest thing that happened to me at a poker table was when.
Actually, it's embarrassing, but I remember mucking the best hand, and yeah, I think yeah, or timing out with the best hand, something like that. It yeah, yeah, that would be it.
Okay. Okay. When I'm multi-tabling, I play.
Really focused because I have to make so many decisions and I can act quickly. That's what I like. Yeah, I actually get into flow by multi-tabling. Yeah.
Okay. If poker chips or your computer mouse could talk, mine would say,
Play slowly. Think twice. Yeah. Uh,
the best poker advice I ever received was to always remember that.
so you gotta trust yourself, but that's pre poker solver when you're bluffing or when you're making a call. And then actually there is one advice that every high stakes player is just a human. Like you shouldn't be scared of the people. Even Phil Galfond, you oftentimes when you're playing against super good, when you know the guys are super good, you question yourself if you can actually beat them. And the advice would be you can. You just need. They're not superhumans.
Okay, uh, fair enough. I play my best poker when.
When I'm really focused and when I'm winning. Yeah,
That
yeah,
helps.
yeah.
That helps. When I play without tracking software, I feel like.
I need to really think about the game more. I think that playing without the poker software is also really good training.
The most embarrassing thing I've done at a poker table is.
Making bad fold on the river, and the guy showed me the bluff. Actually, yeah, yeah, that was. Oh, I still remember that. I still remember that. The guy even posted it on 2+2. Then I didn't believe him, and I was like, "No way, he's the." Oh, that was ridiculous, ridiculous. Yeah.
My most epic bad beat story is when.
So I made a video, a short video on YouTube about losing with quads against a straight flush, and I lost with quads against bigger quads once. Four of a kind versus four of a kind, and I remember losing with four of a kind to a royal flush. Uh, but worst story would be like getting it in with set against a set for many big blinds on the flop when you're just drawing dead. That's like yeah, that feels just so bad.
uh, the best poker comeback
Oh yeah, yeah,
you've
yeah.
ever
There are
made?
many. There are many for sure because of the. I actually remember one thing that I was grinding really, really for a long time. I was down a bunch like 20 binds or something, and then I recovered. I ended up winning, and I was still feeling kind of empty. I remember that because I felt like, wow, you played so much, and um, you should just rather stop when you're losing and move on than try to regrind. But it was a really really long session, maybe like 20 hours if not more.
Okay. If I could create a new poker rule, it would be.
Oh, that's an interesting question. Hmm. Hmm, hmm, hmm. I think I would rather create a new game, so a new format, which to bring back all the recreational players who left because the game got solved more and more. So it should be it like something like five card pillow or something like that.
Okay. Now, for the final question. Uh, be prepared. If my life was a poker hand, it would be.
Yeah, I mean king queen, I guess. Right? Yeah, I was just thinking king queen probably. Yeah,
Uh,
that's the starting hand. Or do you want the full hand like played out?
no,
Starting
no, no.
starting hand.
Starting hand.
But
Starting hand.
or in five card PLO, you could get so many great hands. Wow, it would be crazy. I don't even know. I think it's ace jack 10 9 double suited. What you want to have because you can make you can you can do anything.
You can make
Yeah, yeah,
anything
yeah,
out of
yeah,
it.
yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, but King
King
Queen
king
is a
king
nice
queen. I
answer.
like it. Yeah.
That's I like that. Okay, that's it for the 52
That
questions
went
with
quickly.
Insider 19. I hope you all enjoyed the episode. I did very much. I was looking forward to this. And yeah, well, we will continue with the format. Tell us in the comments if you like the question format, and see you again in the next
And
episode. That's
yeah, I wanted to add something. Yeah, yeah,
Vladimir
yeah.
wants to
Because
say something.
maybe
Yeah,
our viewers and listeners have some questions actually, so we can add a question. I mean, we are at 52, but we could add four jokers, right? Or two jokers. I don't know how many you can have.
we could
Yeah,
we could
yeah, yeah,
remove one.
yeah, yeah,
There
yeah,
are
yeah. So
better suggestions. We are looking forward
right,
to that. We can make it completely customizable
yeah,
to some
right,
extent,
right.
at
So if you
least.
guys have questions
And
which you want us to ask and to answer, post them in the comment section, and we will do that for sure.
okay, keep your feedback coming and your question list. And we hear you soon on the channel. Subscribe and follow for more poker stories behind the scenes. Thanks, Vladimir.
Was a
That's
pleasure.
it.
See you guys.
See you.
Bye
Bye.
bye.